Wonky Whistle. Thomas the tank engine puffed happily along his branch line with his two coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. He loved whistling hello to his friends along the way, even to the children most of all. One chilly morning, Thomas woke up ready for work. Then he saw Bertie the bus drove by. "Hello, Thomas," called Bertie. Thomas loved whistling hello to his friend Bertie. But when he tried to whistle, his whistle made a strange sound. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. "What's happened to my whistle?" "I don't know," said his driver. "I'll telephone the engines inspector." Soon the inspector arrived and examined Thomas's whistle carefully. Then he climbed down and spoke to Thomas. "Your whistle is wonky, Thomas. It's the cold air that damages valve," he told him. "But how am I going to work with my wonky whistle like that?" asked Thomas. "You can do some shunting at Knapford Station, and Percy will take care of your passenger," said the inspector. "Yes, sir," sighed Thomas. And he went off to Knapford. When Thomas arrived at Knapford, Gordon, James and Henry were there. They have heard about Thomas's wonky whistle. "How are you going to work with a wonky whistle, Thomas?" teased James. "It is not safe to work with a whistle that goes wonky," chuckled Henry. Thomas felt so embarrassed and went to do some shunting. Thomas shunted some trucks for Henry's goods train. And then he brought some coaches for Gordon's Express. "Well, little Thomas," called Gordon as he backed up to the express, "you should never use a whistle now, but an important engine like me needs one to let people know I'm coming." "Well, I hope you won't jam your whistle like it when you did last time," teased Thomas back. "So I heard." Gordon was cross. He didn't like to be reminded of his own past. So he steamed away without saying a word. Later, as Thomas shunted some other coaches for James's evening train, Emily steamed in. "Hello, Thomas," she whistled. "How are you doing today?" Thomas told Emily about his wonky whistle and what the other big engines said to him. "Don't you worry, Thomas," said Emily. "I'm sure the Fat Controller will sort out with a new whistle for you." "Thank you, Emily," said Thomas, cheering up a bit. But just then, Thomas and Emily heard some angry passengers all complaining about the Fat Controller's railway, and James's coaches were still waiting on the platform. "Why hasn't James arrived?" asked Thomas. "I don't know," replied Emily. "He should have been here by now." Then the station master rushed over to Thomas. "Thomas, James is stuck at Tidmouth because the turntable has broken down," he told him. "So you must take James's train instead." But Thomas was worried. "How can I take James's train with my wonky whistle?" Then Emily had an idea. "Why don't you let me help Thomas, sir?" "Yes, you can, Emily," said the station master. "That's very nice of you, Emily," said Thomas. So the two engines were coupled up, the guard whistle blew, and the cavalcade puffed slowly out of the station and onto the open line. Thomas didn't make a sound, but Emily did. She tooted her whistle along the journey. And the passengers had reached their destination on time. The next morning, the fat controller came to see Thomas and Emily. "Well done, both of you," he said proudly. "And Thomas, you are to go to the works for your new whistle, and you'll be back at work in no time." Thomas felt very happy. And sooner or later, Thomas's whistle is fixed, and he was back at work on his branch line. Now Thomas can whistle well to his friends along the way. He stopped at a signal. Emily was waiting there. "Thank you for helping me, Emily," he said. "You are a very good friend."
"That's all right," said Emily. "I told you everything would be all right in the end."
And Thomas happily agreed.